SpaceX is finally doing something unexpected. We all thought they had dropped the idea of landing the Starship Super Heavy on an ocean platform, right? But now, it looks like they're bringing that plan back. Hey, I'm Lucas. Welcome to the SpaceX community. Let's get started. From launching and landing the first orbital-class rocket, to revolutionizing satellite deployment with Starlink, and sending astronauts to space as a private company, SpaceX has consistently redefined what's possible in aerospace engineering. But even by their standards, their latest rumored endeavor is nothing short of extraordinary. The idea of using a repurposed aircraft carrier as a floating landing platform for their Starship rocket has sparked widespread speculation and excitement. While still unconfirmed by SpaceX, this concept could represent a transformative leap in rocket recovery technology, offering unprecedented flexibility and scalability for future missions. You know what? Currently, SpaceX employs two primary methods for rocket landings. For Falcon 9 missions, they use autonomous spaceport drone ships, which are essentially floating platforms stationed in the ocean to catch returning boosters. These drone ships have been instrumental in enabling rapid reusability for Falcon 9 launches, with over 400 successful recoveries to date. For Starship, however, SpaceX has developed an even more ambitious system called Mechazilla, officially known as the Launch Tower. This towering structure at Starbase in Texas is equipped with robotic arms designed to catch the Super Heavy booster mid-descent after separation from the Starship upper stage. The arms lock onto the booster's grid fins like chopsticks, allowing for a precise and controlled landing. This method eliminates the need for landing legs on the booster, reducing weight and increasing efficiency. However, Mechazilla's precision requirements are extreme. Any misalignment during descent could result in catastrophic failure. Additionally, its fixed location limits operational flexibility. Launch and recovery operations are tied to Starbase or other sites with similar infrastructure, which can be a constraint for missions requiring specific orbital inclinations or avoiding overflight restrictions. This brings us to the intriguing concept of using a repurposed aircraft carrier as a mobile landing platform for Starship. The idea gained traction earlier this year when reports surfaced of the USS John F. Kennedy, a decommissioned aircraft carrier passing near SpaceX's Starbase facility in Texas on February 2nd. The USS John F. Kennedy is no ordinary ship. Built in 1964 and decommissioned in 2007 after over 4 decades of service, this 321-meter-long vessel was designed to handle immense stresses, including launching and landing military aircraft weighing up to 82,000 tons. Its robust construction and large deck make it theoretically capable of supporting Starship landings. The speculation intensified when enthusiasts noted that such a platform could serve as a next-generation drone ship, far larger and more stable than SpaceX's current ASDS barges, potentially accommodating multiple Starship landings in a single operation. Unlike Mechazilla's fixed tower, an aircraft carrier could be positioned anywhere in the ocean, offering unparalleled flexibility for launch and recovery operations. This mobility could be particularly valuable for missions requiring specific trajectories or for avoiding overflight restrictions over populated areas or sensitive regions like oil platforms in the Gulf of Mexico. The potential benefits of this approach are compelling. First, a mobile landing platform would allow SpaceX to launch Starship from various locations around the world, optimizing mission profiles and reducing environmental impact on fixed launch sites like Starbase. Second, the large deck of an aircraft carrier could theoretically support up to 5 or more Starship boosters simultaneously, enabling rapid turnaround for high-frequency launch campaigns, a key goal for SpaceX as they aim to make space travel routine. Third, using an existing naval vessel could leverage proven engineering and structural integrity, potentially reducing development time compared to building entirely new platforms from scratch. Additionally, an aircraft carrier could serve dual purposes, acting as a launch site with an orbital launch mount, or even transporting Starship prototypes between locations like Starbase and Kennedy Space Center in Florida. This versatility could streamline operations and reduce logistical challenges associated with fixed infrastructure. However, turning this concept into reality is far from straightforward. The first hurdle is cost. Acquiring a decommissioned aircraft carrier might be relatively inexpensive. I'd like to quickly remind you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We regularly upload informative SpaceX and space news videos that you won't want to miss. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so you're notified whenever we release new content. Scrapped ships can sometimes be purchased for tens of millions of dollars, but retrofitting it for Starship landings would be a massive undertaking. Installing reinforced landing pads, fuel storage systems for propellant transfer, advanced stabilization systems to handle ocean waves, and potentially Mechazilla-like arms for catching boosters could push costs well into the hundreds of millions. Operational expenses would also be significant. Maintaining a crewed vessel at sea requires fuel, maintenance, and constant monitoring, especially in harsh ocean conditions. Precision landing on a moving platform is another major challenge. Even with advanced stabilization systems similar to those on modern aircraft carriers or offshore drilling rigs, the ship would still move with ocean waves, complicating the already demanding task of guiding a 5,000-ton rocket booster to a precise landing spot. SpaceX's experience with Falcon 9 drone ship landings provides some precedent. Over 400 successful booster recoveries on ASDS platforms, but Starship's size and mass are orders of magnitude greater, amplifying the difficulty. Any misalignment could result in damage to both the rocket and the ship, making this approach riskier than current methods. Historical context also offers valuable insights into the feasibility of sea-based rocket recovery. Blue Origin, SpaceX's competitor in commercial spaceflight, once pursued a similar idea with their New Glenn rocket. In 2019, they announced plans to use a converted cargo ship named Jacqueline as a recovery platform for New Glenn's first-stage boosters. The concept involved landing boosters vertically on the ship's deck using advanced stabilization systems. Despite significant investment and publicity, Blue Origin abandoned the project in 2022 without ever attempting a landing. The reasons remain unclear, but the technical challenges of landing a large rocket on a moving platform likely played a role. This experience underscores the complexity of sea-based recovery, even for well-funded organizations. SpaceX, with its proven track record of innovation and execution, might be better equipped to tackle such a challenge, but the Blue Origin example serves as a cautionary tale about the risks involved. If SpaceX were to pursue this aircraft carrier landing method, the implementation process would be a monumental engineering effort. They might begin by acquiring a decommissioned carrier like the USS John F. Kennedy and conducting a thorough structural assessment to ensure it can withstand the forces of rocket landings. Modifications would include reinforcing the deck to handle Starship's weight and landing impact, installing landing guidance systems for precise navigation, and equipping the ship with fuel storage and transfer systems for post-landing operations. SpaceX could explore two landing approaches, one where Starship lands on legs like Falcon 9 on a drone ship, or another where the carrier is fitted with a catching tower, similar to Mechazilla for mid-air captures. The latter would require additional engineering to adapt the tower to a moving platform, potentially involving gyroscopic stabilization or dynamic positioning systems to keep the ship steady. New software and control algorithms would also be needed to account for the ship's motion and ensure accurate landings. Building on SpaceX's existing expertise in autonomous landing systems, the impact of such a system on SpaceX's operations could be transformative. A mobile landing platform would enable the company to increase launch frequency by supporting multiple landings per mission cycle, aligning with their goal of making space travel as routine as air travel. It could also facilitate launches from diverse locations, reducing reliance on fixed sites like Starbase, and potentially mitigating environmental concerns associated with frequent launches near populated areas. For example, launching from an ocean-based platform could minimize noise and safety risks for coastal communities. Furthermore, the ability to transport Starship prototypes via the carrier could streamline logistics, allowing SpaceX to move vehicles between testing and launch sites more efficiently. This could be particularly valuable for supporting NASA's Artemis program, where Starship is contracted to land astronauts on the Moon starting in 2027, or for deploying SpaceX's second-generation Starlink satellites. Looking ahead, the aircraft carrier concept could also pave the way for even more ambitious applications. Imagine a fleet of such platforms stationed around the globe, enabling SpaceX to conduct launches and landings in multiple oceans simultaneously. This could support rapid response missions, such as deploying satellites or crewed spacecraft on short notice, or even facilitate point-to-point transportation on Earth, where Starship could travel between continents in under an hour. The carrier could also serve as a testing ground for new recovery technologies such as automated refueling systems or advanced stabilization methods, which could be applied to future SpaceX projects. However, these possibilities remain speculative until SpaceX confirms their interest in pursuing this approach. Despite its allure, the aircraft carrier idea faces significant hurdles that temper enthusiasm. The lack of official confirmation from SpaceX suggests that this may be more of a thought experiment than a concrete plan. The company's current focus is on refining the Mechazilla system, which has shown promising results in recent test flights. For instance, the Super Heavy boosters for Starship Flights 7 and 8 in 2025 successfully landed at the launch tower, demonstrating the viability of the catch method. With the FAA approving up to 25 Starship launches per year from Starbase, SpaceX is likely prioritizing iterative testing and optimization of existing infrastructure over developing a new, unproven system. Additionally, scaling up their existing drone ships to accommodate Starship could be a more cost-effective alternative to retrofitting a carrier, leveraging proven technology with fewer unknowns. Thanks for watching today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for another great video tomorrow.